A warm welcome to each one of you. On behalf of myself and the Wellcure team, I thank each one of you who has joined us, and especially all those people who have registered into our course, the Holistic Nutrition and Health Certificate course. I shall do my best to maximize your learning. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the founders of Wellcure and their great team. And also I'm grateful that they are hosting my course very often on their wonderful platform. Thank you. Looking back, I always feel all the work I'm doing is based on my father's work. He is a naturopath and a yoga exponent, besides being a biochemistry professor, and that's exactly where my work fits in. I call myself a holistic nutritionist because I blend in the Eastern philosophies and the Western philosophies of food and living to make it more meaningful and make it more holistic in nature. Because of my father's knowledge and work during my growing up years, I was fascinated and also honestly astonished at the way people would report to him every day about their healing processes with just change in simple eating and living habits. Honestly, that is what took me to study food. But when I finished studying food, I had a bigger problem. I finished my master's thanks to my husband. And after I stood first in the university and finished master's is when I actually realized how more confused I am than before, because what my textbooks taught me was almost contradicting to what I had learned from my father. I came here to learn more and clear all those gaps which I couldn't get from my father, but here I was more confused. And I couldn't understand why two different philosophies can contradict each other. And at that age, and especially thanks to Google, if I look back, because there was nothing to confuse me more, I had to reach to different experts to ask why and what of it. In this way, I studied, understood, experimented, experienced, and I learned my concepts. Here also, when I reached out to different experts, each one would say, I'm right and everybody else is wrong. And I would get into trouble there also because I had to figure out who is right and who's wrong. And in this way, I've learned everything for such a long time. And the richness of my understanding comes from working with clients, thousands of people in these 25 odd years who have taught me every single day to become better and better and better. I thank each one of them, my clients, my mentors, my teachers, my gurus, everybody at this juncture who have made me who I am. And this is how I came to design and create this short-term course, putting in all my learnings and unlearnings. Unlearnings were more than my learnings, honestly. And I have designed this 20 odd hours course, putting all of that together so that nobody else needs to put in half their lives to understand these simple concepts. And that's exactly what is going to be taught in this course. Let me take you very briefly about what is it I plan to teach in this course so that you get an idea of what to look for in this course. Well, if you're thinking you're going to get to learn something unusual, something which nobody else knows, and that's what you're going to learn here, I'm sorry, that's an absolute emphatic no, that's not the case here. I'm going to pick up very, very basic facts, principles, and concepts from all these three philosophies: the modern medical nutrition, the yogic philosophy of food, nature cure, and blend them together in a very meaningful way and make them complete and give it to you in a platter. I will, make the nutrition science so simple for anybody from any walk of life to digest, assimilate, and appreciate it. Whatever I might have learned in 3 + 2 + 7 years in my formal education is what I'm trying to put in as simple as possible. And I always like to teach using stories from my clients, the real stories from my clients, then stories from the scientific world with data, and stories from the scriptures, so that it's very easy to understand and remember. And I also teach in multiple ways. First, I generally, kind of say it in a common man's language. Then I also teach in the scientific language and then summarize it. So almost every concept I will have taught 3 times, so that none of you should worry about, will I be able to understand? Everything has been repeated 3 times. I'm sure you'll understand and will be done in a good pace. Of course, I need to finish a whole lot of it in 20 hours. So I will need to keep up the pace, but I will do it in such a way where all of you can understand. And of course, I'm available for all your questions and doubts. And the best part of this course is, see, today there is no dearth for information. Probably some of you know better than me, I would say. But the whole problem is you cannot adopt it into your lives. But this course has been designed in such a way where learning, understanding, and following it in your life all happens parallelly. I don't believe in examinations or giving you certificate on looking at how you are going to, reproduce what is there in your head. That doesn't make any sense to me. It is very important of how much you can adopt from this course. What is it you can take away? What is it you can do for your families, friends, colleagues? What is it? One thing every single day you can carry back is what matters. And to assess this, Wellcure has created a WhatsApp group with all the people who have registered and myself, where we exchange constantly on everyday basis for the next 3 weeks of what we are doing and what needs to be adopted. And let me just give you an example so that you can understand it better. Let's say I've asked people to eat fruits in the evening. So every participant is supposed to eat fruit. Click a picture of the plate or the bowl you're eating and post it in the group. And the discussion starts. What is right? What is wrong? After all the discussions and learning here, that is where the actual experience happens. You can honestly, say, I will do this, I will do this. But when you do it, you will come up with lots of doubts, questions, and a lot of reactions from your body. And that is where this interactions in the WhatsApp group helps the best. And with this introduction, I think we should go ahead and look into what is there in the course. Okay. One important thing where people always eat up the heads of Wellcure team. Do we get the notes? No. Why? Because I believe learning happens in a different way. My learning became so powerful and strong and potent because I had the hunger to learn. And I had fortunately wonderful people who taught me. It could be research, it could be text, it could be anything for that matter. And learning happens when you listen with that intent and intention. And when there is that intense wanting to learn, then you can infer it through your intellect, and practice or abhyasa is what actually sets in. So without listening properly. When do you listen properly? When I don't get anything, I need to listen, right? When you say, I'm going to get the notes at the end of the day, you'll always say, oh, it's there. I will listen to it, look into it, learn to it. That will never happen. We've done it all our lives, right? Let's not do it more. That is why I don't want to give any complete notes, but yes, at the end of the class, every class, you'll get a short briefing points where whatever has been discussed in the class, so that you can remember the flow of it and think about what you learned and make your own notes. But I'm always available on the WhatsApp to clarify all your doubts and questions. Right. What you see on this slide, most of it I intend to speak about in this session and touch upon a lot of things. And this course is helpful for anybody, whatever you're looking for. It could be a housewife who's looking at health for herself and health for her family, or it could be anybody, to the person working in the health space, like doctors from different walks, and maybe a yoga therapist, maybe physiotherapist, maybe health coaches, dietitians, nutritionists, people who are working in the beauty industry, fitness industry. All of you can not only benefit for yourself, but help your clients, because when you're doing already great business and good work in your field, adding the right kind of food and lifestyle makes a huge difference to what you can do and make a difference in your client's life. Well, the first part, what we learn is the working of our bodies. Unless we understand how it works, we have no way of choosing what is right, what is wrong, isn't it? Let's take an example of a car. You do so much of research when you want to buy a car, which can be replaced very easily. You ask so many people who have already been using that car, how it is it worthy of investing into that? You want the best of the brands, doesn't matter about the cost. You look into every aspect and features of the car. Of course, probably go through the whole of the manual to understand it better, and then take how many test rides, God knows, and decide. And that is when you will know what the car works on and how it works. None of us, even by mistake, can make the mistake of putting petrol into a diesel car and diesel into a petrol car. But why the hell don't we understand that this machine, which cannot be replaced in your lifetime, has certain do's and don'ts? Do we ever understand? Did we ever get a user's manual anywhere? Schools, homes, nowhere have we understood this tool, which is so important to what is the fuel to be put? How does it work? What are the foods we need? Have we ever understood? This is the first thing we need to understand, how this body works. And next comes the food. Basically, none of the reductionist theories work with the body and the food, because they are both hugely complex and they work with each other and interplay and interwork with each of its components. So we cannot break them down into their components and look at them at individual systems, body systems, organs, organ systems, or food as protein, a carbohydrate, or whatever. But here in the course, I'm going to break them down into its parts and teach them and tell you how it works holistically, and understand this body as one whole unit, because that's how it works. You cannot treat kidney, you cannot treat brain or heart separately. They all work together. They're all interconnected. They kind of, communicate with each other, help each other, support each other. and adjust with each other. So you cannot look at one organ and say, this is what this organ requires, and give it, and the rest of it suffers and gets imbalanced. Then that is where we go wrong. So we will learn all about each one and see how to use wholesome foods. And at the end of it, you will be learning how to balance your own plates. You don't need a dietitian to have a healthy, balanced plate. You will know how to balance your plate, yourself, and for yourself and for everybody else. They could be of any age, any gender, any physical activity involved. You will be able to design this plate for yourself. Going ahead, I feel this is the biggest blunder modern medical nutrition has done to us about counting calories. This is the last thing I would want anybody who reaches me to do. Stop counting calories. Instead, we should be counting nutrients. Where am I getting my nutrients? Where am I losing my nutrients? At the growing area, or at the transportation sphere, or where we store, where we get, where we pre-prepare, where we prepare, where we cook, where we store at homes? Where are we losing? Count them. Then you will know where you're going wrong and what needs to be done. So I will ensure you unlearn this calorie counting and learn the nutrient counting. Of course, health and disease has been dealt by nature cure in a very beautiful and a very completely different manner. We are always scared about disease, and nature cure says that is our friend. Disease is what tells us something is going wrong. Take care. Where is it going wrong? Where is the cause? And it is very, very essential to look into ourselves when we have a disease. Disease is not something to be feared about. Disease is something to be looked into to get back to health. So I'll use a lot of nature cure philosophies here to deal with diseases. And of course, I will touch upon individual lifestyle common diseases and disorders. And the group who is going to take up this course probably could be having certain specific issues with their health or their loved ones. Of course, the immediate family, your spouse or your child or your parents or something like that. And we could also touch upon very briefly on those particular diseases and disorders also. When I say I touch upon the diseases and disorders, I don't mean to say I'm going to tell you what to do there. But what I'm going to tell you is what is the cause of all these problems. We have created them with our wrong eating and wrong lifestyle. And if we have created them and we know the cause, we know how to get out of them, reverse all these diseases and disorders. I repeat, all the lifestyle diseases and disorders and many more have been created by us. And we can reverse all of these diseases and disorders. I will teach you simple, very effective ways of reversing all these diseases and disorders. And coming to yogic philosophy of food, yogic philosophy is a huge science and art in itself. Yogic philosophy was considered the Indian psychology. It is a beautiful science. And one lifetime is not enough to understand and assimilate yogic philosophy. I have picked up a small part of the yogic philosophy of food. Our ancient people knew very well that mind is the culprit. We cannot deal with the plate and correct things at the plate level. We have to deal with the thought level, and it is the mind which is the culprit. So we'll look at what is mind, what it has to do with our plates, how to correct there so that it gets corrected here. All of this we'll learn in the later part of this course. And finally, working with thousands of people in these many years, I've understood that what works for me doesn't work for somebody else. What works for that person doesn't work for another person, because we are all made differently. We were born different. Even though everything is similar inside, our practices, growing up practices, matters the most. what we learned growing up, what we liked, what somebody else who fed me liked, did not like. All of this runs in the family, not in the gene, because of the habits the families have. So that is where we need different tools. One tool will not suffice for all of us. So what has worked for thousands of clients is what I'm going to offer at the end of the course, so that each one of you, whatever you're made of, your nature, your ways of thinking, living, and all of that, you can pick a combination, all of them or some of them, and see what works for you and use them in your life and walk on the path of health, reversing your diseases, becoming more energetic, more healthier, dropping off your medications, and getting better in every aspect of your health. This is what we have in offer during this course of 3 weeks. Now, with that introduction, let's get into some learning and unlearning also. It's very boring to look at myself or a machine and speak. It'll be nice if some of you can switch on your videos, if Wellcure's team is okay with people switching off on your videos, so that I can see people and talk to people. Well, thanks to those people who have switched on your videos. When I say eat right, the first thing people ask me is, why eat right? Let me answer that question briefly with a very strong, powerful, short video. I'm sure it has, kind of shared the right intent of what I intended to. All of us, I'm sure, want to live the way the man in the left hand of your video was, right? Stable, mobile, fit, and healthy till the last breath. All of us desire that. We want to be that, but don't want to do anything towards that. How is that possible? Have you ever asked yourself? I don't have time. I can't put efforts, but I have to be healthy all my life. Is that ever possible? Can you even ask for such a thing? Please remove that from your minds and look at ways of what can I do to be in that state, if at all you want to be in that state. If you don't want to, welcome. But if you want to be healthy, fit, and mobile till your last breath, there is something needed to be done towards it, right? Right eating, right living, all that matters. I know of these 250 people on board, I'm sure most of you are youngsters. And what's happening in your head? I have been eating junk for umpteen number of years. I've been doing everything wrong, which have been told to me, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is unhealthy. Nothing has happened to me. I'm hale and healthy. So I don't want to listen to your crap, is what is going on in your head. I know that. Well, let me address this question. Well, if you have seen a mixer work, if I buy a new mixer and put sand into it also and grind it, the mixer will grind it into a fine powder. But how long? A week? Or a few more days? And then the blenders, the blades will be so blunt, they can't even blend the softest of your fruits or vegetables or your green leafy vegetables, right? This body is also the one you have, not mine I'm talking about. The one you have is very young, very new. All your body parts, organ systems are working to the highest potency. And remember, your mixer can go wrong very soon if you do abuse it. But body is not designed like that. This human body is so beautifully designed that it can take all abuses till a certain point. You can eat wrong, live wrong, sleep wrong, everything wrong, and still be all well to a certain point. After that, it starts breaking down, one organ after other, one system after other. And it is very difficult to replace it or come to an absolute healthy state. So don't wait till you reach there and then start looking at it, is what is my suggestion. Right. With that, let me also tell you that this is the only tool we have if you want to achieve anything. I know today's generation has no time for anything because you get everything quickly, right? All you need to do is press a button or give a call and it'll be at your doorstep. So this quick thing always makes you feel even this needs to be quickly fixed. Pop a pill and fix it. You're not fixing it. We'll understand more about it as we go ahead in the course. But don't think it can happen just like that. And this is the only tool we have in hand to achieve anything. You want to achieve, right? In different spheres. But if you don't have this tool only working for you, how can you achieve? Whether it is, you want to do good to the society, serve in the society, or make money, or, satisfy all your desires, or even you're looking at moksha or liberation, for whatever the cause, whatever your goal is, this is the only tool you can use to reach that goal. Unless you keep this body fit and healthy, you can't achieve in any spheres of life. So it becomes very, very important to be healthy. Well, it's not just about long life. Why? Today's medical advancement in its technologies and equipments, procedures, everything has made our lives longer, but meaningless. What about the quality of life? I know old people who reach my clinic. First is they don't have anybody around because today life takes children away from us, and probably we are the last generation where we took care of our parents and in-laws, stayed with them, and we can't expect that to happen with our children because their lives takes them away. Not to blame them in any way, but we have to be equipped for this situation also, isn't it? There's nobody to depend on. You have to take care of your body to take care at that point. So what I was trying to say is old people reach my clinic and already they are dealing with so many things. On top of that, many diseases and disorders, huge number of medications. They almost have tears in their eyes and ask me, when will this end? Why? Is it that easy? If it were, I'll eat anything, I'll do anything, and one day I'll say I'm done. If I could go away, that would have been wonderful. But life doesn't happen that way. Because of these medical procedures and drugs and things like that, life is longer, but almost I see people dying every moment because of that many diseases, disorders, incapabilities, suffering with all of that. So it's important to take care of health. Now, understanding that it is important to take care of health, what if somebody asks me, already my health is in a bad state, what do I do? Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about now. The whole idea is to remain young as long as possible by eating and living right. And also, if something has gone wrong, to correct and reverse it. Is it really possible? Is the next question. Of course, yes. Why? Because inside the bodies, at every level, at molecular level, atomic level, subatomic level, cellular level, at every level, things are changing. Things are changing such fast speeds that gives us an opportunity for this change in health status. What do I mean? Let me explain. Now, if you take cells of the lining of our gut, intestines, or stomach, they are replaced anywhere between 2 days to a week. If you take the muscular cells or the muscle cells, anywhere between 0.5 to 10% of replacement happens over a period of a year. If you take blood cells, depending on what type of blood cells, it could take some weeks to a few months to be replaced. If you take neurons or the nerve cells, to a large extent, our brain cells are there for life, but almost 1/3 of the neurons in the hippocampus, which are involved in emotion, memory, reproduction, all of these are replaced on a daily basis. Almost 700 neurons are replaced or added into the hippocampus on a daily basis. Now just look at this opportunity which has opened up. If all cells are being replaced, what input goes is what the cells come out. If you start healthy inputs, the ones which are going to grow now or replaced now are going to become healthier. It's as simple as this. And it has been proved beyond doubt that all this can happen and we can have a younger, longer life. And that is what we are looking at when we say eating right and living right. If you look at philosophically also, the innate natural state of this body is to be in health, not in ill health. Because it's an innate nature of this body to be in health, it bounces back to health as quickly as possible, depending on how we create the environment around the body. Around the body, when I say not around outside, around inside the body. So this is how it is going to help us. And let me tell you here that it doesn't take, some people must have developed a lot of diseases and disorders over a period of time. 20 years, 30 years is when you develop diabetes, not at 10 years. Of course, I do see such cases also today, very sadly, but you developed over a period of time, all of these, right? And it doesn't take that many years to reverse these diseases and disorders. If you took 30 years, it doesn't take 30 years to reverse them. Just a few months of eating right and living right is going to reverse these diseases and disorders. And that's the beauty of it. This, kind of reminds me of a beautiful story, which I have been narrating batch after batch. Number of people again and again, because I love it so much, which relates to what I'm saying so beautifully. This was, published in Amar Chitrakatha a long time back, but I heard it from Raghaveshwar Bharati Swamiji, and he is a wonderful storyteller. He can kill all the ills inside us by just telling stories. And I have learned so many nuances of life from him through these stories. And I want to narrate one of what he was saying. There was a monk who went to a water body to have a bath. Then when he took a handful of water for the sun salutation, he found a baby mouse. And wanting to save the mouse, he took it to the bank and was about to leave it. And he sees a hawk going around. He says, this mouse is not safe. and brings it back to his ashram. After returning to the ashram, he realizes it's not easy to take care of a mouse. And with his parse, he turns this mouse around into a baby, female baby, so that it becomes easy for him to take care. And on a daily basis, he develops so much of attachment to this daughter, and she grows up wonderful. And when she attains the marriageable age, he decides, I'm going to find the best of the grooms for my daughter. And he says, come, let's go meet the sun god. They reach the sun god, and he asks the sun, will you marry my daughter? But the daughter is not very impressed with sun god. She dares to ask him, is there anybody more powerful than you? And the sun god replies, yes, the clouds can cover me anytime. He's more powerful than me. And the father-daughter reach the clouds and ask the clouds. The father asks the same question. And the daughter repeats, is there anybody more powerful than you? And the clouds reply, yes, winds can blow me wherever they want. And wind is more powerful. So they reach the wind with the same question. And the wind replies, yes, I can shake anything, but not a mountain. And they reach the mountain. And the mountain answers, yes, none of the natural elements can shake me, but a little mouse can burrow a hole into me to any extent and ruin me from inside. Now the little girl gets excited for no reason and says, I think I want to meet this mouse and marry this mouse. So that innate nature was still there, is what I'm trying to say, right? So that innate nature of body wanting to be in health will always be there. And that is what, when you create the right environment, will bounce back to health. So saying that, let me tell you that we understood how important health is. So where do we look for? Who's responsible to take care of our health? Is the next question. We've always depended on these two industries, the food industry and the health industry, to take care of our health. Let us look into these two industries and decide who to depend on. Coming to the food industry, there was a beautiful study done on the supermarkets. They said, we know sugar is toxin. Sugar is poisonous. How it can harm different systems and create different diseases, including obesity. So let's remove those packets which have sugar in them in any form, some form. And I'm sure you'll not be surprised when I say there were no packets, tins, bottles left on the supermarket shelf at the end of the study. Why? Every packet, bottle, tin had sugar in some form or the other. Why is that essential? Whether the snack was sweet, salty, or sour, or spicy, each one of them had sugar in some form. Why? Because the factory-made foods need a good shelf life. And sugar is a preservative. That is one reason why all factory-made foods will have sugar in them. And the second thing is, sugar is a drug. The most potent, powerful drug we already know in this world is sugar. It can attack your brain. It can make your brain want it more and more and more of it and never get satisfied, and is habit forming. It can touch that space of your brain which will ask for more. Very soon, you have no control over that. Your brain is going to ask for more. So every product which is made in the factory, the manufacturer is sitting there to make money, right? So it has to be commercially viable for him. To ensure that happens, he has to ensure that I and you get hooked onto his product. And that's exactly why they use sugar. For these two reasons, there can't be, kind of maximum number of food stuff available in the market will always have sugar as their ingredient. And how can you depend on this industry? What legalities do they have to ensure that our food is perfectly safe and healthy for us? Can you depend on them? Ask yourselves. Let's come to the health industry. What are they supposed to do? You think they're going to take care of our health, but that is not their business at all. They're trained in allopathic ways to use medicines, procedures to take care of a sick body, not a healthy body. Nowhere have they been trained like that to blame them that they did not take care of our health. They were never trained. Ask a doctor. 4 or 5 years of their medical basic study, they have one chapter on food, the basics of what are the different nutrients required by the body. That is all they know about food. If a doctor has a self-interest, probably they learn more and understand more. Otherwise, they have been taught only as a chapter in their first year of their degree and nothing more about food at all. They're not dealing with health. You can't buy health there. You can only get better when you get unhealthy with them in their own ways, right? So you can neither blame them nor expect to give the responsibility of your health into their hands. Each one of us are responsible for our health if you want to be truly healthy. Having said that, I just wanted to show this because I saw it, a wonderful board in a supermarket. A huge supermarket has one section which shows this board. If this is true, what are they selling in the rest of the huge supermarket? Isn't it so, funny to see this? Well, now that we know we have to take responsibility for our health, where do we start then? First is to know whether I'm healthy or not. If I am not, where, what, how much has gone wrong so that I can heal myself, repair myself, isn't it? Is the first step. So what do? Walk to a huge pathology lab available in the town, get the whole of the blood work and body work, look at the available norms. There are normal values given to you. Check if this number matches that number and see if you're healthy or not. Isn't it? This is all we know. Nature Cure teaches a beautiful way. And give a thought on this. We today know just a few hundred parameters, right? We go get this checked and check the normal ranges of these parameters. Is that all what happens inside the body? There could be thousands more happening inside the body, but we have not yet discovered them. We don't know, we have no clue about them, nor do we know their normal values. How is the body managing all these reactions and equations? Have you ever thought of it? If the body can manage those thousands, can't it also manage these few hundreds which I and you know? Right? So, body is intelligent enough, capable enough to correct itself, repair itself, heal itself, provided it gets all the building material. It gets all those building blocks, repairing blocks through food and the environment. So our job is to correct the environment and everything else gets corrected. But for it, if we think we need to correct it, just imagine if you have to figure out each one of these thousands of reactions happening, parameters, go get it checked and correct every ill with a pill, we would have gone crazy by now. Do you agree with me or not? So that shows that that is not the right way to handle our problems at all. Yearly checks. Somebody is becoming a millionaire at our cost. We are not getting anything for that matter, except for some more stresses to add. So now, how do I know then? Nature Cure says, don't look outside to know whether you're healthy or not. Look inside and you will know whether you're healthy or not. Nobody outside, some expert, some doctor, some dietitian needs to testify, you're healthy. No, you know it yourself. Let us look at what are those parameters where I can know it myself if I'm healthy or not. And then going ahead with the course, we will understand how to correct all of them. But right now, it is important to understand that what are those parameters to check to know whether I'm healthy or not. A lot of people reach me. Most of them carry such huge files and tell me, I've got all the work done. I have all the reports. They've already finished doctor shopping, every different department, different doctors showed all the reports and finally reached me saying, the reports are all normal. All doctors have told me everything is well, nothing to worry. But something is wrong. I don't know what, where also I don't know, but something is wrong. I'm not my original self, my natural self. I feel so tired very soon. I feel there is no energy. I am not interested in things in life, or I can't sleep well, or I can't get hungry, or I'm over hungry. All sorts of these small little things they come with and say, something is wrong. Can you help me? This is what is the first principle according to Nature Cure. It says, it's not the absence of diseases. It is the inner feeling that who knows? Nobody other than you knows. That inner feeling I have of the wellness is what determines that whether I am healthy or not. Nobody outside need to test and give me a certificate whether I'm healthy or not. I know if I am happy, healthy, cheerful, calm, and relaxed, enjoying my life, that is when I know I am healthy. Otherwise, I'm unhealthy. Those of you who want to make a note of it, pick up a paper and pen and write down the parameters so that you can check for yourself. Second thing Nature Cure talks about is timely and effortless elimination of waste. What do these two words mean to us? Timely. Anytime I have an urge. Effortless. With a cup of coffee, after a cup of tea, after a glass of hot water. Some people after breakfast. More worse, if I read a newspaper on the pot, elimination happens. Very sad state of affairs. Why is it so important? Nature Cure says the uneliminated waste creates all kinds of toxins inside the body, and exceeded amounts of toxins inside the body are the cause for every kind of disease and disorder. So this uneliminated, every kind of waste, it could be metabolic waste, it could be just undigested food matter rotting inside the system, is what finally creates disease. And this needs to be eliminated first thing in the morning without the need of any kind of efforts, completely. Today, a lot of youngsters reach me saying, I feel undone. I need to go many times to the toilet through the day, and yet I feel undone. So this is the problem. If you cannot do this business first thing in the morning without any effort, then you're not healthy. Nature Cure goes to the extent of saying, if you cannot do this first thing in the morning, then, you don't have a right to eat without complete proper elimination, is what Nature Cure talks. Next is keen hunger. Today, we don't even know the meaning of keen hunger. Sadly, the right meaning people have advised us to eat every 2 hours or 2.5 hours, depending on who you see, right? Where can hunger be created? If you keep eating, whether it is healthy or unhealthy is a different matter altogether. But if you keep eating something every couple of hours, where can body create hunger? Hunger is created when all that you have eaten in that meal gets completely broken down, that is digested, absorbed, assimilated, and then the hunger satiety hormones start working, signaling each other and create hunger. If you eat something, it could be one piece, it could be fruit, but if you're eating often, keen hunger cannot be created. And Nature Cure says, don't eat unless you create keen hunger. Many clients who reach me tell me, can you please explain more? What do you mean by keen hunger? Because we don't know the meaning of it. I tell them in one sentence, unless you feel so much of hunger where you should feel, if you don't give me food now, I'll die. That kind of keen hunger should be created before you can eat. And how many of us can claim that I can create this kind of hunger? Our guts are ruined and we can't, one is wait till this kind of hunger is created, because there is acidity, there is gas, there is flatulence, there is so much happening, heartburn in the gut. So I can't even stop eating, right? So many reasons where you can't even wait to create the keen hunger. So this is the next parameter which Nature Cure talks about. Deep sleep. Why is this so important? Because it is in deep sleep where the hormones which can heal, which can repair, which can relax and calm down the mind are all released. So it is very important to get right amount of sleep in the night. I repeat, for all the youngsters here, right amount of sleep in the night is what is important. Why? Because these hormones can work with natural light. They work in coordination with the sunlight. They go off to sleep when the sun rises or at the very basal level, and they start working when the sun goes off to sleep. So if you're awake, if you can't get good amount of sleep, if you can't get good sleep, the quality of sleep, then this wrongs which are happened through the day because of our living, even if you eat right, live right, lot of things go wrong inside the body. And that needs repair on a daily basis, which happens during sleep. If you don't sleep properly or get good sleep, those repairs which needs to be done during the sleep hours will not be done properly or completely. They get accumulated, and one fine day you'll wake up at different diseases and disorders and innocently go and ask your doctor, why me? What happened? Why did I develop this disease? It happened over a long period of time. It did not happen yesterday. So it is very important to get deep, good sleep at the right time. We will discuss more about it. But today we are unable to get sleep. People reach me simply saying I can't sleep, both youngsters and adults. Why? Adults have so much in their heads to worry, they can't put themselves to sleep. And the youngsters have so much in their hands to deal with that they can't put themselves to sleep. It's very important to check, are you getting good amount and good quality of sleep? Cheerful mind. If I have an ache or a pain here or there, have different diseases and disorders to deal with, running around dietitians, druggists, and doctors all the time. Where can I have a cheerful mind? Tell me. A cheerful mind can be had, a calm, good mind can be had when none of my body parts remind me of their presence, isn't it? Unless all my body parts are working on their own without even my knowledge, that is when I can actually think of a cheerful mind, right? It's very important. Do you have one? Is what decides if you are healthy. Fit body. Today's industry has created that it's okay to be large. Large meals, large cinema seats, large dresses, large everything, telling us it's okay to be large. Absolutely no, not okay to be large. Obesity is the mother of all diseases and disorders. It's not okay to be large. Absolutely no. When you put on a few more grams, you don't even need a weighing scale to tell you. Something you feel miserable inside. That should tell you the body weight is increasing. You can't wait till you reach 100 and reach me. Absolutely no. It is very important to keep a check on how you feel with your weight. Are you feeling light? Are you feeling flexible? Are you able to do your daily activities without any help, without feeling tired, without feeling painful? Is very, very important. Absence of laziness. This is not just the sign of illness in the body, but in the mind. This shows a tamasic mind. A sattvic, healthy body and mind, the feature is always active, naturally enthusiastic, and wanting to be doing anything and everything through the day. If you feel weak, if you in the body and lazy in the mind, and keep postponing things, it simply means to say you are absolutely unhealthy. Graceful movements. Today, we almost need somebody's help to come from sitting position to standing position and standing position to sitting position. Look at our postures. Look at the way we sleep, the way we sit, the way we stand, and the way we walk. It starts with our footwear, our beds, the chairs which are made for ourselves to sit for such long hours. Everything seems to be wrong, creating these problems throughout the body, which is very important to look into. The moment the movements become painful or crooked, you should know where to look for. Equal distribution of heat throughout the body. Our bodies are capable of generating heat and holding them in the right temperature in spite of changes in the environment and the climate. If it cannot hold uniform heat throughout the body, then something is wrong. It is always said the feet should be warm and the head should be cool. No? Generally. So this is what are the different parameters we need to look for in ourselves. How many of us can claim all of this is what I have and I'm absolutely healthy? Unfortunately, I cannot look at all of you, ask you, kind of converse with you in this platform as of now because of the huge numbers. But yet, let me answer, not many of them, right? Maybe just a handful of them, or not even that, I'll not be surprised. So it's very important that we look into all of these and correct them. What happens if you correct them? When do you correct them? My master puts it beautifully. He's the one who trained me in Nature Cure and taught me different beautiful basic concepts of Nature Cure. And he says, you don't have to check your parameters. All you need to do is check your habits. Constantly check your habits and keep correcting them to healthier habits, right habits. When? Every day, every moment. See what habits of eating and living you have. Keep correcting them. Start with small ones. Start with the ones which make you feel nicer. Start with something which helps you and is practical, and keep on adding, and change all your habits to healthy, right habits. Then you don't have to check any of your parameters. Why? They cannot go wrong at all, right? So that is the essence of all of these parameters we are talking about. Again, going back to Nature Cure. Nature Cure defines health and disease beautifully. Of course, as I said, I'm going to deal with it in great detail as we go ahead. But right now, I just wanted to, I'm tempted to tell you this much. If life exists in a toxic body, in a filthy body, then diseases are bound to happen. There is no escape. There is no chance. If not today, some other day. If not this year, maybe 10 years later. Depending on what kind of genes you carry. If your parents and grandparents did everything right and they have passed on wonderful genes to you, probably you can sustain for some more years. Otherwise, disease is bound to happen in a filthy body. But if you have clean atmosphere inside, if you have kept everything right inside, life can exist here. I mean, that is called health. Life living in a clean body is called health. Now, we've learned some, so let us start adopting them into our lives. As I said, the very basic first thing is to remove these toxins from the body. How do we do this? Let's discuss all of that and see how we will help ourselves to do this job first thing in the morning effortlessly. Now, as you wake up, from the horizontal position to the vertical position, what do we do? First thing, walk towards, no, not mobile phones, towards your toilet and onto the pot, straight onto the pot. If you have Indian style, wonderful. If you can't, you can still manage to, find a base. Probably I don't have a picture as of now. Okay, I can post it later in the group. Create it in such a way where the position and the angle creates such kind of a natural pressure. Sit on the pot. How do you sit on the pot? Next, I have to check this mail. Next, I have to put this on the stove. No. All these work because of the neurons, the nerve signals which are happening inside the body. If you are not relaxed, this business which should happen first thing in the morning can never happen. So you need to be relaxed, not wanting to kind of, anxious about, will it happen? Will it not happen? When will it happen? No. If it happens, happens. This attempt of sitting on the pot is just telling your brain, this is the time for elimination. Do it few weeks, then brain will understand and it will automatically start happening. So first thing in the morning, go sit on the pot. If you think you need some more help on this, then brush your teeth, drink a glass in sips of water, plain water, lukewarm water, whatever suits you, and then go and sit on the pot. If this helps, nothing other than the water, right? And how long do you sit on the pot? Not 2 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes a minimum to start with if you don't have this habit, because you need to inculcate this and allow your body to recognize this and adopt it. To sit there for 10 to 15 minutes, you know what else to be done. Keep your bathrooms clean so that you can do that job and be there relaxed. This is what you need to do. And all those people who have, registered already or in the course, you have no choices. This is for everybody to do. But for you, from tomorrow morning, I will be needing a report of what's happening first thing in the morning. So right from tomorrow morning, I want you to do this job. So let me repeat now. Sit on the pot for 10-15 minutes, relaxed, preferably Indian type of toilets. Observe breathing and stay calm. No rush or thinking of what to do, planning, worrying. None of it is going to help you in this. If need be, brush your teeth, sip a glass of water, and massage your abdomen few times, not pressing your abdomen. Just very lightly massage your abdomen clockwise and then sit on the pot. Body will recognize this act of yours and adopt it soon to help elimination. And no, I'm sure I need not say this. Only a person who is badly constipated knows the pain of constipation. And similarly, a person where elimination happens first thing in the morning completely, the joy, the lightness, and the freshness he feels in and out can't be explained. Either extremes cannot be explained through words. You have to experience it and then only you will know. So please start doing this right from tomorrow morning. If need be, you might have to wake up that 10-15 minutes earlier to do this job. You have no choices, right? This is what will keep your system cleansed. And to wake up early, you might have to look into when you are going to sleep. And we will look in detail just like this about sleep in the coming sessions. But right now, remember, sleep early so that you can wake up early. If you wake up early, you have a lot of time for your self-care practices. And one of them, very important, and the very first one is to eliminate first thing in the morning. Hope everybody has understood. If you have questions, please put it on the chat and the Wellcure team will post it. Ask questions at the end of the session. Now, let's get straight into the food. After learning one simple act of lifestyle, we'll get to the food. We always think what comes on our plate is what is food, but no. Whatever this body needs to live and thrive and sustain is called food. And we have lots. Whatever goes into the body, the inputs we use into the body is all food. It could be through our senses, it could be through our mind as thoughts, it could be everything which is going into our body is called food. And Taittiriya Upanishad beautifully describes this food. And it says our body is made up of 5 different natural elements called Panchabhutas. I've picked it up from the Taittiriya Upanishad, 2nd chapter called the Brahmanandavalli or Anandavalli sometimes, verse 1. When I say Upanishad, it has nothing to do with any religion. It's a body of knowledge. And this Upanishad goes on to say, that the universal consciousness is where the space emerges. And from space comes, air. And from air, the fire, and from fire, the water, and from there comes earth. And from the element earth comes the plants and the herbs, which feeds the animals and the humans alike. And that is what makes a human being. And if all of these elements make up the human body, they are very, very essential and important part of our food. All right? Just give me a second, please. Thank you. So, this Upanishad talks about 5 natural elements. And if these elements make up my body, to be in health, I need all these 5 elements. Even when something goes wrong with my health, to repair it, I need these elements, is what you need to understand. Now, we'll deal with each one of them in great detail and see what it means, how to adopt them in our lifestyles. And Each one of them are different and very useful. The most subtle of these 5 elements is the space. And it also talks about the subtler, the more potent. So among these 5 elements, earth is the grossest. And then comes water, which is more subtler. And then comes fire, which is even more subtler. And then comes air and the space. Space is the most subtlest and most potent also. And today, let's deal with this element called space. I hope I'll be able to complete it so that all the people who have joined this call can get some amount of benefit of joining this call. Right. When I say I'm going to speak about all these elements, I cannot speak the entirety of each element because there are such huge subjects to discuss and there are different perspectives to it. I am going to deal with something which deals with health, body, and food. These are the 3 connects we have, right? And so I'm going to deal with a small bit of these elements which are connected with our health. Now, let's start with space, which is also called as ether. Now, how do I create space in the stomach, in my gut, is the question for me. I know it could look funny to many of you. We've only been taught or we learn how to fill into its brim, something called stomach, right? But here I'm talking about creating space in the stomach. So let's look at a common man and his gut. We wake up early in the morning, and as soon as we open our eyes, we need a drink, hot beverage, coffee, tea, or whatever your choices are. Even before it goes and settles down, it's time for breakfast. And we've been taught and clearly told that we are breaking a fast. You're fasted through the night, and that is why it is called breakfast. And so you need a rich, huge meal. What it actually means, we'll deal with it when we come to breakfast. But this is what we have been taught. So we eat a huge, rich meal called breakfast as soon as possible, because this is what has been taught. Because whole night fast, so eat as soon as possible. Even before this breaks down, gets digested, mid-morning, we have a crisis. We are bored, we are tired, we are stressed, we need something to drink. Another beverage goes in. And very soon we have another huge meal called lunch. And even before that is digested, evening something to drink and eat. And again, another rich, huge meal called dinner. And some people have a habit of drinking a glass of milk or whatever before they go off to sleep. Just look at the state of gut. Completely undigested, semi-digested, digested, all kinds of stuff through the gut. Anyway, I'm dealing with fasting, so we'll leave the gut here and go back to fasting. What's fasting? Not eating anything. I know it's a very dreadful word for many of us, but fasting simply means not eating anything and drinking also other than water. Fasting does not mean the way I and you understand. 1 kg of upma, no. 1 kg of poha, no. 1 dozen mangoes or bananas, no. 1 liter of milk, no. None of it. Fasting simply means being on water. Of course, there is other kinds of fasting like dry fasting, but what I'm talking about is safe for everybody, even who do not have had done the fasting. So let me start at this point. Fasting on water. That is what fasting is. So what happens? Let's understand the mechanism of fasting. Now, I'm sure most of us are working. And what do? Throw things here and there through the week at home. And when you reach a weekend, what do? You clear up things, put things in its place, clean up stuff. Why? You have time, you have energy. Through the day, you did not have time and energy, so you did not do it. Now you have both of it and you have started doing it, isn't it? It's as simple as this. And this is exactly what the brain perceives it as. What does it see? It says, oh, wow, there's nothing going into the gut. Gut was the biggest problem of the day. It took away a lot of time, energy, and effort of mine to look after the gut. Today, there is nothing happening in the gut. So I'm almost jobless. I have a lot of energy. I have a lot of time. What do? This is where it starts cleaning work. Detoxification happens during fasting. It starts, looking towards healing, repair work. It takes up repair work and healing work. To what extent? One Dr. Osumi, a cell biologist from Japan, got a Nobel Prize for deciphering the mechanism behind fasting. He has gone to the extent of proving that during fasting, even repair at the DNA level can happen. That is the potency of fasting. It is not small repair here and there. Even damage which has happened at the DNA level can get corrected during fasting. That is what is very important to understand. Fasting is not healing. Fasting creates an environment inside the body where body can take up the work of healing, repair, and cleaning. And that is where you move towards health. You reverse diseases and disorders. You cleanse your body and get out of illnesses. Did we get to know at 2016 when Dr. Osumi figured out this one? No. Thousands and thousands of years back in India, people had realized, understood to the point and said, Langhanam paramaushadham. What is Langhanam? Fasting. Different kinds. Let's not get into it. Fasting. Parama aushadham. There is no better medication. There is no better treatment. There is no, more potent medication than this, is what our people had declared long time ago. Sadly, we, the last couple of generations, we are supposed to be the rational beings, the logical beings, and we don't do anything without our mind understanding it, right? So we miss the bus. Earlier generations, they just followed their parents or teachers and got the benefits. Whether they knew what happened or not, doesn't matter, but they got the benefits. But we stopped doing all that our parents and teachers did because we did not understand, because they were not capable of helping us understand, because science is catching up only now. Only 2016, we understood scientifically what happens inside the system when fasting is done. Now that I have told you and explained, and I'm going to explain more, it is where we start adopting fasting. And don't get scared. I'll go very slow in small steps and ensure we all do it happily, joyfully, and slowly, right? Okay, let me tell you more about this interesting topic. The whole world stops here. They know the physiological benefits we get from fasting, and it ends there. But Indians went a step ahead out of it. Let me explain. In Sanskrit, it is called Upavasa. What is Upavasa? Upavasa here in South India. What does it mean? There are two words here, Upa and Vasa. Upa is near, Vasa is to live. What does that mean, and what does that have to do with not eating? Is the next question. In Indian philosophy, the crux of the matter in our culture is to look inside, not to look outside for anything and everything. In every other culture, most of the cultures, let me say, it is to look outside to understand, to learn, to know. But in India, it was so beautifully understood and designed to go inside to understand everything. Right? Let me not go into details. Right from the planets to everything else, our people knew. How? They did not go there. They did not have instruments to see them, but they knew and understood the details of it. Why and how? This is because we went inside, and they considered going in was very, very significant and important. That is why, where they said all the time, our five senses are looking outside to derive joy, to derive pleasure. I want to see something more, which gives me joy. I want to hear more. I want to touch more. I want to eat more. All of that I'm looking outside. But during fasting, there is a transformation happening. And these five senses turn inwards, and an inner journey starts where you go and slowly touch upon yourself. You start understanding your own self. And that's exactly what they meant by fasting. They did not look at some physiological benefits or getting out of a disease. They wanted even more better, important stuff of life. That is understanding self. That is what is meant by upavasa. Going, sitting, being, living with yourself is what meant by upavasa. So as we start doing and do it better, as we move ahead doing fasting, you will discover your own self, understand your own self. And when that happens, even when it starts happening to a small extent, you will see your life changes to a large extent, because yourself is there guiding you from within in every aspect of your life. You become more calmer, and because your inner force is guiding you, you're innately efficient in doing all of this. And that's exactly why fasting was very, very important. Now let's go to some research data of whatever I'm talking about. So first thing to understand is, it is not fasting which heals, it is fasting which creates the environment which heals. What happens during fasting? We automatically stop ingestion of unsuitable foods, which itself promotes health. Stomach and intestines empty themselves, and all the toxins are excreted, and which is the most important thing which we saw. All organs of elimination get an opportunity to intensify their normal functions. Fasting promotes increase in metabolic activity, not metabolic rate. Remember, I'll talk about metabolic rate as we go ahead. Promotes increase in metabolic activity, that is breaking down and building up inside the body, wherever, whatever is necessary. Fasting allows an opportunity to normalize all chemical reactions happening inside the body, and thus the chemical compositions. It allows body an opportunity to regenerate and rejuvenate all the kinds of cells. Digestive organs are regenerated. They get a huge rest. Like heart has to work 24/7. We have made our gut also work 24/7. How is it possible? It was not designed to do so. It needs complete rest between meals and absolute rest through the night. Looks like it's not happening at all. So the digestive organs get regenerated, and thus digestion and assimilation of nutrients become better after fasting. And so nutrient absorption gets better, health also gets better after a fast. Fasting conserves vital nervous energy. I'll talk about it with a research paper in the coming slides. Brain tissues are cleansed of toxic accumulation, fostering clarity of thought. And fasting improves function of every organ and tissue and cell of the body. Am I saying this? Absolutely no. I've picked it up from this particular textbook of fasting written by Kenneth S. Jeffrey. Who is this guy? He was a wonderful naturopath. In his 20s, he developed lung cancer, and he was told he was not going to live more than a few months. That is when he started researching and figured out a lot of things for himself. And the first thing he did right for himself was go on a water fast for 49 days. That does not mean any of you, all 250 people, to start doing such kind of fasts. No, not at all advisable for anybody without any guidance and training. No, this is to tell you who this person was. That's all. He did 49 days of fasting on water, healed himself, and after that followed all the 5 elements: sun bath, air bath, relaxation, then right eating, natural foods, all the foods in the natural ways, and water therapies. All of this he did throughout his life, and he lived till the ripe age of 90 years after that. And in this 90 years, he wrote a lot of articles and books. And this has been, all these points which I read out from my slide has been taken from this particular textbook. And what is important is during fasting is, fasting should simply happen. It should not be forced upon yourself or somebody else. With this understanding, with this knowledge, you should want to do fasting is first step. Second thing is, fasting, when does it become fasting? It should never become starving is always I tell people. When does it become starving? Oh my God, I did not eat. Oh my God, I did not eat. Oh my God, I did not eat. Oh my God, I have not eaten anything from morning. What will I eat? When will I eat? What will I start making? What will I order? If this is what the thoughts are around the day through the fasting, you did not fast. You starved. You'll starve yourself to death if you're doing this job. No, that is not what we are intending to do. We are intending to do upavasa. That is why our elders also created this around fasting. They said praying is a great job along with fasting. That is why you go to any community in India, you will see every community has different ways of fasting, but they'll always associate it with pujas and prayers and chanting or vratas or something like this, so that mind is calm, mind is engaged in a spiritual process. And so it is easier to fast. Definitely it is not easy to fast, especially if you are somebody who has never fasted. It's not that easy. At least it has been made out not to be easy. So let's take small steps. First, understand more about what benefits I can get. The more and more I can understand about the benefits, the more and more keen I'll become internally to do them, right? Okay, let's quickly go because I need to complete in next few minutes, right? Before I start anything else, we have to be, grateful to this man, Dr. Osumi, who deciphered the mechanism of fasting and made it popular worldwide. Of course, people are using it in different ways, but let us be grateful to this man, and let me read out a few lines from his research work. What is it he actually worked on? He worked on something called autophagy. What is autophagy? Auto, as the name suggests, on its own. Phagy is to dissolve, to kill itself. What does that mean? Now, if you feed the whole body, all the cells will thrive because it's getting food, it's getting energy. Anything and everything will multiply and thrive. But if you stop feeding, what happens to all the cells inside the body? It is like, survival of the fittest. Only those cells which are healthy, which are strong, which are right, will tolerate this onslaught, will still survive. But all those rogue cells, wrong cells, unhealthy cells cannot tolerate this. They kill themselves, dissolve themselves, and that is what is called autophagy. And this was discovered by this doctor, right? So let me read it for you from his own paper. Autophagy is a process by which cellular components are captured into organelles called autophagosomes, then brought to the lysosomes or vacuoles to be broken down and recycled for other uses. The cell doesn't become a waste. Whatever is necessary for the body is picked up from that dissolved cell. It frequently comes into play during starvation. I would word it as fasting, not starvation, allowing cells to survive periods of privation. He made key early discoveries in the field of autophagy. In his work, he has identified most of the proteins and pathways involved in this process, demonstrated how they are regulated by proteins that sense cells' metabolic states, and started to outline the fine mechanistic details of autophagosomes formation in yeast. So all that which I said, he proved and showed in in the yeast cells. That is what gave him the Nobel Prize. There are different kinds of fasting. I'm not going into it. I'm going to teach you very simple, practical way of fasting at the end of this session. Now let me look at some research data very quickly. This paper is from the, which year was this? 2019, from the University of California, and the researchers found evidence that fasting affects circadian clocks. You should remember these circadian clocks are there in each cell, each organ, and they coordinate with the brain clock and with the natural clock. So there is a huge amount of coordination happening with the nature, in the body, with each other also, which we will understand more in the next session. In the liver and skeletal muscles, causing them to rewire their metabolism. So all is set back to the factory fitting state, which can ultimately lead to improved health and protection against age-associated diseases. When you say age-associated diseases, everything falls into it. Now, some more research papers. What you see on the left-hand side of your slide is the reference papers, which I've picked it from. And I'm going to very quickly read them as they were in the paper. Long-term fast, 82% of the people saw their blood pressure fall to healthy levels of 120 by 80, the magical number of norms. The average drop in blood pressure was 20 mm mercury for, once again, for systolic pressure and 7 mmHg for diastolic. I've just picked up one paper as sample papers for all different diseases. There are multiple papers available and a lot of research in these areas. The next paper, which was published in 2013, 30 healthy adults followed a water fast for 24 hours. After the fast, just in a day, they had significantly lowered their blood levels of cholesterol and triglycerides, two risk factors for all kinds of cardiovascular diseases. The next paper was published in 2021, and it talks about water fasting may lower the risk of cancer. And that's exactly what I spoke about when I spoke about Dr. Osumi's work. And the next paper is a review paper, which found that both intermittent fasting and alternate day fasting were associated, as effective as limiting calorie intake at reducing insulin resistance. What is insulin resistance? We'll talk about it, but it is related to diabetes. So it is helping in regulating your blood sugar is what it is talking. And the last paper says your digestive system may also benefit from getting periodic breaks. Otherwise, our gut doesn't seem to get any rest at all. Studies suggest that it might improve gut health and even longevity. Other studies have demonstrated that intermittent fasting can help by changing the gut microbiota in positive ways. Gut microbiota is a whole topic to discuss in great detail later. Some more papers. Some research also has found short-term fasting may boost metabolism by increasing levels of neurotransmitter and norepinephrine, which could enhance weight loss. The next sentence is more interesting because people think on fasting, they lose muscles. No, this paper very clearly states fasting was found to be more effective than calorie restriction at increasing fat loss while simultaneously preserving muscle mass. Fasting could improve brain function. Why and how? In Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's. Why? Because on fasting, a chemical called brain-derived neurotropic factor, BDNF, increases in huge amounts, which actually help and support brain functions and production of new neurons, and also preserving the function of the brain. Finally, practicing intermittent fasting may also help you sleep better. There are a lot of people who think otherwise. They think, I'll get hungry, I can't sleep if I fast. No, this paper clearly shows people could sleep better by having a positive effect on their brain's natural circadian rhythms. During periods of fasting, your body undergoes repair and rejuvenation that are linked to a longer lifespan. I have discussed this in great detail earlier. These are some of the changes which happen on just calorie restriction, not even fasting. Just imagine at the metabolic level, at the cellular level, at the molecular level, lots of changes happen. The changes in the growth hormones, anabolic hormones, growth factors, inflammatory markers, then multiplication, oxidative stress, every level changes happen. And that is why fasting is beneficial. Now, when we come to the wild, always animals do this. And if you have a pet at home, I'm sure you'll understand. The minute something goes wrong, all they do is stop eating. And they'll lie down as if they're dead. You'll get so scared you'll rush them to the pet, to the doctor, right? No. All they're doing is fasting and resting. Along with fasting and resting, they will slowly walk towards where they get direct sunlight and rest for some time. Sip on water. This is all they do for just a couple of days and bounce back to health. The minute they are on their feet, they are absolutely normal, right? This is what every animal on planet does, except the animal called human being. Why? We are only taught about eating and never about fasting. And this particular sentence I pick up from this particular publication written by Dr. Gala. There are two Gala brothers who have written this book, and it's a beautiful book. It's very simple read also. Beasts and birds instinctively avoid taking food to get rid of illness. Loss of appetite is a prominent symptom of every disease. It happens with us. Don't you see? The minute you're sick or the minute there is no appetite, you know you're sick. But what do? We add more masalas, make it more spicy, buy it from outside, and ensure our taste buds are satisfied. The whole opposite of what actually the body is wanting you to do. Now, let me finish. Wellcure team, I'm sorry I've taken more than the assigned time to me. Let me finish in the next few minutes. So what do I want you to do? Nature Cure never ever suggests long fasts unless the body requires and suggests. How, what, and all is not the scope of this particular hour, but we can always do short, safe fasts. I have no clue who is on this call. All these 244 people I see right now could be from different backgrounds, different genders, different age groups, struggling with different diseases and disorders. So just being careful, I have resorted to a short kind of fast, which I'm recommending here. Going ahead, I will teach you in detail how and what to do. What to do? First thing, choose a day, any day of a week, once a week. Choose a day which is comfortable for you. What is that comfortable for you? It should be a day where your physical mental activity should be the minimum. If you have a lot of physical mental activity to do, all that energy is diverted to it. The energy necessary for repair and rejuvenation is lost. So the whole purpose is lost. Don't do that. I don't mean to say you should sleep or lie down. No, first few days you might even want to. Your body will ask for it. But when you start, that is the day where you have lot of rest to your physical and mental self. Choose such a day, maybe a Saturday or a Sunday. Now, on this particular day, stop eating, drinking anything in the morning. No beverage is the first thing. No breakfast also. Keep sipping water in sips. Very important. In sips. Whenever you want, how much ever you want. Keep doing this till lunchtime. I have not specified any time here. Lunchtime, which means closer to the time you can stop eating as long as possible. That's all. It could be 12:30 first time, then slowly you can push it to 1 o'clock, then 1:30, then 2 o'clock. Keep doing it slowly. You should not suffer at all. Do slowly. So whenever you feel like, you can stop fasting and break the fast with a bowl of fruits. So lunch is fruits. Not eat fruits and then have something else. No, I mean to say, eat fruits for lunch, preferably soft and sweet fruits for lunch. So what did I say? Go on water on this one day of the week where you have decided till lunchtime on water. And at lunchtime, have a huge bowl of sweet, soft fruits. Chew well, eat slowly, as much as you want to feel full. And then keep sipping water whenever you want till evening. Evening, have a tender coconut water. If you come from a place where you don't have tender coconut water, you can make a fresh fruit juice, add 50% water, no addition of sweeteners whatsoever, and sip on this juice. Night, have a simple cooked meal. What is a simple cooked meal is what you'll understand in the course. But as of now, I can simply say less spices, less oil, and more vegetables. Eat a simple home cooked meal. Let me repeat. Be on water till lunchtime. Have a huge bowl of fruits, soft and sweet, at lunch. Evening, tender coconut water or fresh fruit juice with water. Night, simple cooked meal. Whenever you feel hungry, not your regular dinner time. Whenever you feel hungry, have your dinner. Give a gap of at least 2-3 hours between your dinner and sleeping, and sleep well and get good rest. This is what you need to do once a week as fasting, and then you will know how things change physically, mentally, energetically, and how things happen in your inner transformation also. Many people send me messages, beautiful messages, how life is simply happening in front of them because of doing fasting. So start slowly, do simple steps, and slowly go ahead. And you can go to my website to understand more about what I did during COVID with fasting. I don't have time, otherwise I would have read it for you. This is what it is. But I want to end with this today's session. It is very important to have the right company to do all the right things. That is what is called Sangha. You have all the wrong people around and expect yourself to do right will not happen. Let me tell you with a story. Once a hunter found 2 abandoned chicks of a parrot. He picked them up, sold one to a rishi and the other to a thief. Both of them grew up at their respective places and picked up the ways of those places as they grew up. The one which was growing up in the ashram learned all the ways of ashram. It would say Rama Rama when somebody entered the ashram. It would say there is a tree, you can go and rest there. It would also show some fruits and pluck fruits and drop it down for them to eat. It would even go to the extent of dipping itself in a stream, come back and fly over them. If it found them really tired, it would do all of these ways. And similarly, the other one also picked up all the wicked ways of the thief. This one who was living with the sage one day expressed a desire to see its brother. And later one day when the sage got some time, he took this parrot to see the brother. As they were closer to this brother's nest, all they heard was, catch them, loot them, kill them. This little bird got so scared, he flew away from that place and reached back the ashram. And when the sage came back, he asks the sage, why so? We were born to the same parents. How did he turn out to become like this? And the sage kindly says, This is the way we get, where we get to, while bringing up, while we are growing up, what we are exposed to is what we learn and imbibe. Where we live, where we are, the people we are with matters a lot. So if you are living with people who feel it's okay to be obese, it's okay to be diseased, it's okay to be lazy, it's okay for everything to happen the way it is happening, life is a bore, life is unnecessary, all of these things, you will tend to become like that. So choose who you live with and what you do. And that is what Wellcure has created here, a huge platform where people who are teaching, who are learning, everybody has the same mindset. And here in this course, a group has been created where all of us stay together, like-minded people, doing everything right in the same time, which creates a positive energy of the group, which will help you do everything towards, health. So I invite all of you to enroll and take up this course. And whoever has taken up, a big thanks to each one of you and my gratitude. I end this session saying so, and thanks to everybody at Wellcure. Over to you, Wellcure.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gauri, for this amazing session. So we have few questions, so we can take those questions. So the first question is, why adenomyosis happens in uterus?
Okay. Right. Let us not get into disease until I deal with the disease chapter. Right?
Yeah.
But
So
in general, wait. Let me answer this. In general, all of this is because of wrong eating and living. If it is wrong eating and living, we have to correct it, is what we have to understand. But I need to, deal with a lot of other preparatory things for me to make you understand this. So let me not jump to answer your question. I'm sorry, whoever asked this question. Next question.
okay. So can people with lifestyle disorders like non-communicable diseases like diabetes, thyroid, cholesterol, can they do fasting?
Yes, of course, all of you can do fasting. Now, let me touch upon diabetics. Diabetics feel they cannot do because the blood sugars will go low if you take medication and not eat, right? That much common sense all of us have. So, it's important for all of us to do under guidance. Find a naturopath wherever you live, or find a doctor in your family and do it under their guidance when they know where your blood sugars stand. Please don't do it on your own. Definitely first few times do it under a guidance, and when you know and understand how to manage with your medications, maybe you don't need medications at all on that day, maybe you can reduce the medications. So once the doctor knows your blood sugars and works with it, then it becomes easy and you'll understand and you can do it on your own. All of them, the healing happens, repair happens during fasting. Your pancreas will rejuvenate with fasting. This is what is necessary, but don't do it on your own, is what I'm saying. Right? Okay. Next question.
And now, yeah. So Anu is asking, is fasting creates acidity, as the doctor says it is more in empty stomach?
Okay. Now, it will not create acidity, but if you already have a bad gut, acidity, gastritis, any of those symptoms, it can aggravate it. Fasting will aggravate it. So, if you already have gut issues, gut problems, I would say don't start fasting. Be on tender coconut water. When I say be on water, don't be on water, be on tender coconut water. At breakfast, drink one tender coconut water very slowly, sip by sip. Next, when you feel like, drink one more tender coconut water. Afternoon, fruits for lunch. Evening, tender coconut water. Night, dinner. Start with tender coconut water instead of water. Do it several weeks, once a week, and you will see your gut improving. It becomes more healthier. Now it can tolerate, and you will be able to do on water. So go slowly, step by step. People with acidity, gastritis, diabetics, you have to be slower and do it under supervision, and also start probably with tender coconut water and then slowly go towards water. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely. And one last question I think we can cover. Preeti is asking, can we do liquid fast? So I think you have already guided. You need more, guidance and attention for
No,
that. If
liquid
you
fasting is not allowed other than water. It is not called fasting at all. What is liquid? Alcohol is liquid. Thumbs up is liquid, right? I did not talk about liquid at all. There is nothing called liquid fasting of that kind. Fasting is being on water. Fasting means not having anything, right? So try to do completely whatever you do in small steps. And that is what is going to benefit you. Once you have the experience of benefits, it'll motivate you and influence you to do more about it, right? Okay.
Okay, and Supriya is asking, my hair loss has been increasing, though I do, follow many of what you said. And is this our ancestor way of living?
What do you mean? I did not get the question.
So
Hair
she's
fall is,
saying, yeah, means she has hair loss, means her hair loss is increasing. She does everything you told, but still she's facing this issue. So is it like her ancestor has passed on this genes
oh, is it
to
the
her?
gene she's asking? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, could be. When it comes to balding, no, it could be because of our parents, the genes we carry. But still, to a large extent, it depends on what we eat and how we live also, and how clean we can keep our scalps. So all of this matter to a large extent. But yet, if you carry the baldness gene, nothing much can be done. It can be maybe, pushed a little bit, or it can become less intense, but not much can be done when it involves a gene.
Okay, and someone is asking, I did water fast and I was actually starving. How can this solve?
Right now, you've understood. The understanding is the first step. Now you've understood why you have to fast. Earlier, somebody told be on water or whatever fasting, you did it and you felt miserable. Now, with this understanding, who is going to fast? I am going to fast to heal myself. I did not do it for Dr. Gauri. I did not do it for Wellcure team. I did it for myself. I want to do. Wait for that understanding to sink in and feel that I want to do. I want to heal myself. I want to repair myself. I want to detox myself. When you feel so, do it. Then it becomes easy and smooth.
And Sindhu is asking, can people with IBS have coconut water in empty stomach?
Yes, but again, IBS is related to the stomach itself. It might not allow you to do it at all because it depends on each gut. There are some people who can take tender coconut water and not feeling bloating, gas, and all of that. But there are some people who can't tolerate the sugars of tender coconut water also. So you might need some more modifications, but you can try and see if this helps. If the gut is not very bad, it will help you and it will help you heal and come out of IBS also.
Hi, Dr. Gauri. In the here, I'll be taking over the questions now. There are a lot of questions which are repeated, but they are all revolving around the illnesses that people have, which is diabetes, hypertension. We are also seeing people who have or are on chemotherapy. Can they also take up fasting?
Yes, the fasting which I have discussed just now is very simple and just a few hours of being on water. So all of you can safely do this kind of half day fasting, or it is not even called fasting in nature cure terms. It is called approach to fasting. You are getting your body, used to start doing fasting. That's all. So this half day fasting is safe for everybody, except for kind of, I told gut issues like intolerable acidity, ulcers, and diabetics. Do it carefully. You can also do it, but just modifying a bit, you can all do it. But Indrapreet, I think I need to leave because I have another international call to attend. So
sure.
Let me take
one last question, Dr. Gauri.
Yes.
I think this is related to fasting. So the question is that can people do exercises while they're fasting?
Right. I did mention about this. If you spend a lot of energy by doing something else physically, it could be exercise, it could be gymming, it could be walking, it could be yoga, whatever. You have used a lot of energy, which if you had conserved, which would have been used by the body to detox and repair. So on the day of fasting, it is better to rest more physically, mentally, emotionally. And if at all you feel like, do some stretching or bending, twisting, kind of a simple stretching exercises, not overdo on physical activity where you feel tired or your energy used up. Hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, Dr. Gauri.
Can I take leave?
Yes, absolutely. We'll continue the fasting session anyway tomorrow.
Yes.
On Monday.
Next
I
class.
think a lot of those questions will get answered there. Thank you so much once again, Dr.
Thanks
Gauri.
to everybody on the call, and thanks to Wellcure team and the founders. Bye, everybody.
Hi, everyone. If you have any questions about the program, you can put them in the chat. We'll be happy to address them. All right, so we are getting questions on the curriculum. It's a 21-day program. We will be having the sessions on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. These are 2-hour session like we had today. We will be covering the brochure PDF is already shared in the chat. You can have a look at that as well, or also join the WhatsApp group where we will be sharing this information again and again. So the program is structured for next 3 weeks. We will have 10 sessions. Each session is for 2 hours. But that's not the only learning that we will have in this session. We will be constantly working on the program in the WhatsApp group, which remains active pretty much throughout the program. A lot of Q&A happens within that as well. So that's how the program is currently structured. There are questions about, is there a course to be a wellness coach? This is actually the perfect course. If you already have some amount of understanding of health and nutrition, this is actually a beautiful course which can help you become a holistic nutritionist, understand the learning from a completely different point of view, and also see how it can be implemented in cases that you take up. Wellcure is also currently looking at having more and more coaches, health coaches with us. If you take up this course, we will have an assessment after the course is completed, and if it works out, you're happy to join us with the Wellcure team as well. Can we get recorded sessions? Unfortunately, no recordings will be shared for this program. This is purely because, there's a lot of learning that happens. And as Dr. Gauri also mentioned that, sometimes when we have the recordings, we really don't pay attention to the live sessions. So we will not be sharing any recordings for the sessions. Dr. Gauri will share important slides, important pieces of information after the session is over in the WhatsApp group, which is for the paid participants. And if there are any questions, like I said, they will keep getting answered there. How to join the WhatsApp group? Can someone from the team please put the WhatsApp group link once again? You can just click and join that. There are a lot of questions about installments. We usually don't do that, but if it is something which works, please do call Sanjana. We have shared her number. It's there on the chat. You can have a chat with her and we can take a call there. Yasmin, unfortunately, the timings are fixed. It is 6 to 8. So, there is no alternate time right now. Hopefully, you can join us in the next batches where, we probably will do it at a different time frame. All right, so the question is, in case we happen to miss any class due to genuine reason, what is the backup? Okay, so most importantly, because it's about your health, you're making a commitment of joining this course. We will recommend that you attend all the sessions and not miss them. If due to any reason you are unable to join a session, we will give you access to the same session in the next batch. We keep doing these programs every month, every 2 months. So in case if you miss a session, which I would not recommend that you miss, but in case if something is there which is not controlled, you can join the same session in the next batch. Another question is, yes, a certificate will be provided. It is a training certificate. Abdul, right now, these are the only time slots that we have. In future, if we please stay connected with us on the group. In future, if we have a session or a program which is happening at a different time, we will definitely inform. Yasmin, the next batch will most likely be in October, September end or October. We don't have the confirmed dates right now, but like I said, that please stay connected with us in the group. We will share the next batches there. Rashmi, you've asked us for the sample certificate. Can someone from the team please share it? What curriculum will be covered? We've shared the PDF in the chat. You can have a look at that. That details out all that is being covered. I'm sharing it once again in the team chat. Renu, I'm unable to understand the question. Can you schedule fasting times to be perfect? I'm not clear about the question. Surekha, yes, like I said that, a few important slides from the presentation and also brief crisp notes will be shared in the group, which Dr. Gauri will share herself. Anjali has answered the question. Yes, there'll be 10 sessions in total, including today's session. So today is session 1. Monday, we'll have session 2, which is going to be from 6 to 8. Renu, about your question regarding fasting, it's better if Dr. Gauri answers that in the next batch. But the way she has mentioned fasting here is to not have anything apart from water. So you're only on water, and she has already shared the assignment as well. I would rather have Dr. Gauri share more details. She's the instructor and the right person to answer that. Dr. Gauri mentioned that specific diseases will not be answered in terms of diet. So if we are looking at specific ailments, this may not help. Kavita, I would answer it differently. She did mention in the program that you don't look at ailments in isolation, you look at the whole body. So if there are certain issues which are happening in different parts of your body, does not mean that only that part has to be taken care of, the entire body has to be taken care of. And as we'll move forward with the program, you'll realize that the program is not disease specific. Once you are understanding what is the right kind of living and right kind of eating, different diseases, specifically the lifestyle diseases and also autoimmune diseases, they do get reversed. We've had participants within our program who've had certain illnesses, and we've also had cases where people started reversing their diabetes while they were in the program with their tests. We also had a participant who had shared the testimonial as well in the beginning. Her husband had fatty liver. She did the program, but because of the changes that she made in the lifestyle, her husband actually benefited, and after 5 to 6 years, her husband's tests for the first time were coming normal, and he was slowly getting off medicines. So the course is not going to focus on any particular disease or group of diseases. It's more about looking at the whole body in totality and looking at the right kind of eating and right kind of living. Shireen, you can join us on the WhatsApp group. You can also call Sanjana. Her number has been shared here. You can have a longer discussion with her on this. I think most of these problems will get solved with this program. Renu, we cannot write a table. That was the whole point that Dr. Gauri mentioned, that each body is different. It is what you are capable of doing when you start the fasting. So we will not be sharing that you have to do it for 2 hours or 4 hours. If you can do it till 10 a.m., do it till 10 a.m. If you can do it till 12 noon, please do it till 12 noon. Please listen to your own body. Dr. Gauri did mention, we are not going to talk about calories. We are not talking about set, tables and timings. That's not how the program is currently structured. We are not even looking at it like that. So just allow your body to do what it wants to do and listen to it and implement it. About the certificate, we will be offering a training certificate. Sheetal, we will connect with you separately on this. You have Sanjana's number. Please call us on that. You can also join us on the WhatsApp group. We can take it up. What is the syllabus course duration? Like I mentioned, it's a 21-day program where we'll have 10 live sessions. And throughout the 21 days, we'll also stay active on WhatsApp. There is going to be a lot more communication because, the learning is going to be happening in the 2-hour sessions, but the implementation will happen till the next session comes. So every session, there will be assignments which will be shared. You will be implementing them, learning from it, experiencing, coming back to Dr. Gauri with the questions, anything that you feel needs to be sorted, you're unclear about, and that's how we'll progress throughout the program. Not everything will be taught in one go. It is going to be very sequential. We have the payment screen up. If you have any more details about questions about that, please type in the chat. We'll be happy to address those. Naveen, no, there is a different WhatsApp group for paid participants. We already have a lot of members there. Dr. Gauri is also in that group. The group link which is being shared here is not the paid program group. This is for any inquiries or any queries that you have about the program. We'll be addressing those here. Just to keep everyone informed, the next session is on Monday at 6 p.m. So if you wish to join, you have to ensure that you're joining before that, because if you miss a session, we wouldn't advise you joining the program in that case. There's a personal message which has come to me. Yes, on the next session, which is on Monday, we will be continuing with the fasting. We have only covered some part of it. We will continue the conversation in the next session. So more details will be shared, and paid participants who have more questions about fasting, Dr. Gauri will be addressing them in that session. Akshay, like we've mentioned, no recordings will be provided for this program. We would encourage all the participants to stay active, make sure that they're taking notes and learning. It's like a typical classroom. When we go to school, there haven't been any recordings for our classes, even in colleges. So it is going to be the same over here as well. This is for learning. So everyone who joins has to be absolutely attentive, making sure that they're taking notes, asking questions, collaborating on groups, sharing their experiences. Timings for classes. The classes are going to be on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. Renu, Dr. Gauri will be there in the paid program group. This is a 15th batch with her. In every batch, there is a separate group which we have for the participants. She's there for the entire duration. Once the program is over, there is an alumni group. Anyone who has completed the program, they join that group. And that we have Dr. Gauri there as well, and a lot of Wellcure team as well. So in case if there are any ongoing challenges or issues as you're implementing these changes, we are always there to support you in the alumni group. Akshay, we do a lot of programs. We actually have more than 150 courses on our website. We focus on natural health and healing. So you will find courses spanning between health diseases to lifestyle, and also about the healthy eating. So there are different kind of courses. We also offer one-to-one personalized coaching. You can check our website. All the details are mentioned there. Sunil, you can visit the website, which has just been shared in the group. We do a lot of master classes as well, which are free, where we do talk about other programs that we have. You can join those sessions as well. If there are any more questions, please drop them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. Devakant, no, we are not a Ayurvedic supplements manufacturing company. You can check our website. We are completely about natural eating, living, breathing, everything which is natural. Please do check our website. You will find all the related details there. We do have a lot of interesting articles. We have a lot of health journeys where people have reversed their lifestyle disorders purely by being in sync with nature. Deepti, like I just mentioned, we have over 150 programs on our website. We do sessions, a lot of programs very regularly. Holistic nutrition and healing program is one of the many that we do. Please check our website, which is being shared in the chat. You can have a look at that, and you will find a lot more details there. We have live programs. We also do e-learning programs. So there are many participants who are time crunched. They cannot devote time, a particular schedule of the day. So we do have e-learning programs which they can do on their own. We also do one-to-one personalized coachings. We have a lot of ebooks. You can check all of that on our website. Smita, so the training certificate will, so first of all, this program in itself is quite intense. As you'll move forward, you will understand that it is something which is absolutely life-changing, the way we look at food and nutrition. If you already have some kind of experience within this space, or if you're interested in this space and already have been learning about it, you can join this course, and you can also become a health coach with Wellcure post, all the filtration criteria have been met, which is, there will be an assessment. We will see that what kind of learnings that you really, got from the program, and also in general about natural healing and living. Binod, today was session 1. The next session is on Monday. This is session 1. Monday we will have session 2. Like I said, it's a 21-day program. We'll be working together for the next 3 weeks. Deepti, join us on the WhatsApp group. You can also connect with Sanjana or Anjali. Anjali, if you can put your number as well in the chat, we will be happy to answer your questions. You can just drop in a message to either Sanjana or Anjali, and we will be happy to get into more details about the career opportunities at Wellcure. You're welcome, Deepti. I would request team to put the program link once again. Faisal, you can check the link. It will have all the details about the program, or you can join us on the WhatsApp group. Rakeshji, there will not be any recordings. We've been very clear about it that we will not be sharing any recordings for this program. This is a clear instruction from Dr. Gauri. Akshay, this is the right course for health coach. So Rekha ji, we are sharing the link on the screen. You also see the Paytm and GPay number, and also a barcode. You can scan it and go to our Razorpay link. I would request team to put Paytm, GPay and the Razorpay once again into the chat. So Rekha ji, you can pick it up from there and join. Anjali or Gitanjali, I would request you to put the Paytm GPay message as well in the chat, and also the Razorpay link once again in the chat. The full fee of the course is 18,749. This program is currently at 20% off, which is 14,999. Thank you, Gitanjali. Thank you, Anjali. Dates are mentioned on the screen, 19th August to 9th of September. It's a 3-week program. So you have multiple ways of paying. You can pay via Paytm GPay. You can go to the Razorpay link and pay by card as well. We also have the option of bank transfer. If you're sharing, if you're making a payment by Paytm GPay or by bank transfer, we would strongly encourage that you share the screenshot with us along with your details, which are mentioned in the chat as well, which is your full name, your email ID, your WhatsApp mobile number, and your city. Without this information, if you're making a Paytm GPay or a bank transfer, without this information, we will not be able to process it. So please team, I would request you to put bank transfer details as well, please, in the chat. So Rekha ji, we usually don't break up the payments. You can connect with Sanjana. Her number has been shared in the chat, and we can see what we can do there. You're welcome, Surekha ji. Thank you, everyone. We will be closing the session now. Once again, session 2 is on Monday, 6 to 8 p.m. And I hope we have already answered a lot of your questions. If you still have more questions, please connect with us on the numbers which have been shared repeatedly on the chat. You can save them, or you can also join the WhatsApp group. We will be sharing these details once again in the WhatsApp group. So we would encourage you to join that WhatsApp group as well. And in that group, we will also be sharing the next batches and other program details that we keep doing from time to time. Thank you, everyone. And with that, we'll close the session. Thank you all for being with us for 2.5 hours. We hope you found the course helpful and look forward that many of you join us for the full program. Thank you very much. Good night.